What's going on, guys? My name is Justin Fernil from Push and Profit. Hope everyone is having a beautiful day today. Now, recently the stock market has been all over the place, which naturally causes people that follow me to DM me on Instagram asking what stock to buy and how soon can they make a profit. Which makes sense because I'm constantly posting my profits on what I did for the day on my Instagram story. By the way, my Instagram handle is at Justin Fernil, which is pretty simple, just my name from the channel. And I'll actually enjoy when you guys DM me with questions about the stock market, because I personally feel some sort of fulfillment whenever I have the pleasure of being able to help someone and also make a little difference in someone's life. I do enjoy that. Now, I'm sure that many of you guys have heard that proverb that says, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach a man how to fish, he eats for a lifetime, right? Very powerful words, because even if every day I was giving great advice on what stocks to buy and sell in order to make a profit, that would make you reliant on my existence to profit. You would have to rely on me every day just to see what to trade. And that would be bad, because what would happen if I magically disappeared from the earth, right? So what I want to do in this video is empower you guys, be able to, help you guys become more self-reliant and not show what stocks to buy, but rather show what criteria I set before I enter a position on a trade. Now, I know to some people, the concept of learning and actually, putting your skill to work and to make real money is something that they don't want to do, because being lazy and complaining is the easier choice, right? But for those of you guys that are interested in actually learning, what I'm going to do is hop into my computer and show you guys exactly what I look for before I enter a trade. Now, remember, nothing worth it in life comes easy. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into my computer. Alright, so now we're officially in my computer screen. Something that I do want to mention is I do not have my microphone on me, so the quality on the audio might not be as great. However, the quality on the content is going to be top notch, right? Now, right here, we're in my computer. We're looking at Thinkorswim TD Ameritrade. That's the program I use to chart my stocks. For those of you guys that might ask, now, is this the best program to chart your stocks? That's just really up to you. I mean, this is just what I use personally. There's many other charting brokerages out there. It's really all up to you. It's subjective. There's one to each their own, right? Now, enough with that. We're looking at TSLA, which is Tesla stock. A lot of people have been talking about Tesla stock for the last couple of months. And something I do want to point out is that there has been a lot of YouTubers out there who they're in the stock market. They claim to be like really experts on it, and they've been mentioning how, like, because the stock market has been going down, it's a great time to buy stocks and hold them for over time, because stocks are on sale, right? Now, something that I do want to mention is that when it comes to buying and trading stocks, you don't really just want to buy something just because it's going low and then just pray for a miracle, or something that's going to happen. There's really a technique, there's a strategy to this to be profitable, because just buying and just wishing something comes up, that doesn't work. Now, for example, right, when Tesla was around over here, like, the peak was 933. Once it fell to like 830, people were screaming that Tesla is on sale. Right now is a great time to buy, right? But guess what? Tesla ended up falling another 25% after that, right? Then, when the feds pumped the market, yeah, Tesla had a little spike, but then it kept going down to like losing 60%, or about 60% in almost a month. Now, I don't even know how to explain to you guys how large a 60% loss is. For example, if you had $100 and you lose 60%, you're losing $60 out of that $100. And then, if you scale it up, same thing, same concept. If you had 100,000 and you lose 60%, that's 60,000. That's a big loss, right? A lot of people on YouTube are now posting videos of like, I'm losing money in the stock market, and that's because they're not using an effective strategy. Now, let's go ahead and go into my techniques, my strategy. So I'm gonna exit from the 4-hour view and go into the 1-day view, because I am what you call a day trader. I am in and out the stock market, right? I buy in one day and I sell in the same day. And the reason I do this is because it allows me to mitigate my risk. Now, what does that mean? It allows me to manage and reduce my risk a lot more effectively than buying and holding overnight. Because let's say I buy right now, and then tomorrow, some news comes out that the world is ending. There's World War III. There's a lot of things happening in the news, right? Now, when you buy and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, there could be major news that, you know, makes the stock market even plummet. So, you know, it's fine, it's okay maybe once in a while in the bull market, but right now in these times, buying and, you know, holding overnight isn't really a great idea. But you could still be profitable. It's super profitable, right? If you day trade and you manage your risk, right? Now, let's just, I know there's a lot of squiggly lines on the screen. You know, I'm gonna kind of like walk you guys through that. Now, of course, like this major line right here, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm sure you guys know, that's the stock price, right? Now, you guys are going to see three lines over here, the pink, the purple, and the yellow. That is what is called or known as a VWAP, right? And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that later on real quick. But what I use to trade are just called indicators, right? So that's what the VWAP is. This is the RSI. And then I also use just like price action, right? And that's all I use, right? And, you know, I hope I'm not losing anyone here, right? Now, you don't want to buy just you know, based on one indicator just because the stock is low. You want to use a multitude of, you know, indicators, because you want to make sure that your success or chance of being right is higher. You know, not every trade is going to be 100% right. I think traders who are like well experienced or well informed and know what they're doing, they're right maybe 60% of the time. But guess what? 60% of the time being right is completely fine as long as you manage your risk. So let's take a look at Tesla real quick. Tesla went all over the place today. It opened and went up, then it went down, then it went really up, then it went back down, and then ended the day like really low. And it's probably going to go even lower tomorrow, right? But something that I try to do to or implement in my strategy is utilize both the VWAP, which is these lines, and also the RSI. Now, the VWAPs, I use them as almost a support and a resistance. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with supports and resistances, check out my channel. I do have a great video on supports and resistances. But basically, you know, if a support validates itself, you know, it means when a stock goes down and touches that support, it's going to bounce up, right? If it validates. And then the resistance is kind of like a ceiling. So think of it, if a stock hits a support and it's a true support, it's going to bounce up from there. And a resistance is almost like a ceiling, right? So that's what I use these three lines as a VWAP, you know, as, right, supports and resistances, but only if they validate themselves, right? So let's kind of zoom in a little about it with today. Now, another thing on top of the RSI, which I'm going to explain in a moment as well, and the VWAP, which I kind of explained, I also use the exponential moving average, which you're going to see is this blue line that kind of grazes through the stock as well, right? Now, again, the stock is the green and red, just for those beginners out there, right? So again, you can see that, you know, when Tesla opened up today, went up, and then it began kind of selling off, and it touched the yellow line right here, right? The VWAP, and it bounced up a little right here, right? Now, just because it touched the yellow VWAP right here, doesn't mean I'm going to enter into a position right away. That doesn't mean that, right? What I try to do is wait for a confirmation that is going to start going up. And now, so what I do to make sure that it is confirmed that the stock, you know, is likely to continue going up, is wait for it to not only bounce above a support, but also go above the EMA line, which is the blue line. Now, you know, I hope you guys are really paying attention, because what I'm saying is, you know, it really works. It just takes time to really put these things into practice and just like learn. But, you know, once you know, just take notes, right? So, you know, once Tesla kind of bounced off this the bottom of the VWAP, the yellow line, I didn't get in, or I wouldn't get in, because I actually didn't trade today, but I wouldn't get in until it goes above this little blue line, right? Because now it shows signs of confirmation. Now it did go up, right? So from here to here, it did a little 1% gain, right? Which 1% is completely fine, no matter where you're trading with. You know, you could be trading with, you know, a lot of people when they start off, they might have, you know, 4,000 to start off. 1% of 4,000, I think, is like $40. And this was something that was done in about like, I think that, I can't even tell. Let me go ahead and check. This 1% gain if you bought in here at 9.53 and then you sold right here, now you would have made 1% in like 1 minute, which is crazy, right? $40 in a minute. I mean, I think that might be the salary for a lot of like higher paying jobs that require like a master's degree, right? But anyways, after that, so, you know, if you wanted to take your profits, which I'm someone who always recommends to take your profits, you know, and never try to just keep them running, because you never lose when you take your profits, right? But let's say you did hold, let's say if this broke below the yellow line, the yellow VWAP, I would immediately exit my position, right? I'd be like, okay, I'm done, right? I try to reduce my risk by, once I'm down by 1%, I cut my losses, right? And that's okay. Now again, you see it did kind of just bounce a little below the EMA line, and then it started going up. And guess what? It went above this purple line, which is the middle VWAP, right? And it kind of, you could clearly see it acted as sort of a resistance, like I said, a ceiling, because it kind of touched it, bounced, touched it, bounced, touched it, until eventually it broke above it, right? Now, if you were holding, maybe this might be another good time to sell, or you can maybe add more to your position, because guess what? It went up even further, right? Now, again, from the initial point, like if you didn't sell and you sold over here, that's about almost 4%, right? Now, 4% with whatever, I don't have a calculator on me, but you could do the math. Let's say you're trading with, 4,000, 10,000, whatever you're trading with, 4% is great in a day, right? And then again, so that's what I use. And then, it did break above even the red line over here, and then kind of started immediately going down. Again, I try to lock in profits, right? Now we're going to talk about the RSI, because I know you guys, you hear me talking about the three lines and the VWAP. You hear me talking about the blue line, which is the exponential moving average. But let's also talk about the RSI, right? Now the RSI is basically an indicator that tells you if a stock is being oversold or overbought. Again, I do have another video on my channel that explains the RSI really well. So if you guys are a little lost in this video, check out my other videos, right? I don't want to confuse anyone, right? So yeah, definitely check those out. But if you are familiar with it, then that's great. Let me just kind of explain it a little bit. So basically, these two lines, this line right here is like, it goes up to 70, and this line right here goes, down to 30. So basically, when a stock or when this line crosses below the 30 threshold, that lets you know that the stock is oversold, right? And then when it crosses above, the 70 point, the 70 threshold, that means the stock is being overbought, right? Now again, you want to use this in combination with your VWAP, right? So again, you want to buy stock typically when it's oversold, and sell it, when it's overbought, right? Because oversold means that it's selling off. Now again, you don't want to just rely on the RSI, because that might not be correct. You want to rely on the RSI along with whatever is happening with the price action, along with the VWAP. You want to use a combination of indicators to be more accurate, right? And you don't have to always buy the VWAP when it goes below, being oversold. For example, what I said today, when it did touch the yellow line, which is the bottom VWAP, you could see that on the RSI, it was kind of a little on the, low side. It was kind of low, but it wasn't oversold. It was just simply just a little low. It wasn't, selling too hard, right? And I wouldn't recommend to get in, because I mentioned to recommend with the confirmation. So right here, right? And then you could see that when it ended up being to the peak where you should have definitely sold your profits, you would see that again right over here, it's kind of like showing a little red. That's because it was oversold. You want to sell when you're oversold, but again, you want to use that in combination with supports, resistances, VWAP, all that, right? Because it's, like I said, a combination of things. Again, over here, when it kind of hit this peak over here, it kind of dipped a little. You could see that the RSI indicated that, hey, this is being overbought. So again, you want to use these things all together and kind of come up with a great strategy, a great formula, because notice how they all work well with each other. You see how over here, when it's like kind of the peak right before it sold off, it's telling you right here like, hey, this is overbought, indicating that it might be a great time to sell. Of course, like I said, now if you would have bought in here and sold all the way at the peak, that is 10%, right? It said like 10.39, but let's just say 10% for the sake of math, right? 10% in a day is amazing. It doesn't matter what type of account you have. If you're starting off with only a little bit of money, 10% is awesome. I mean, let me just pull out the calculator real quick. For those of you guys that are kind of a visual learner, just need I don't know, I'm a visual learner, right? So $4,000 for like someone with a small account times 0.10%, you're making $400 right there, right? And this is in a span of if you bought here at 9.52 and you sold at 10.59. So literally $400 in an hour. I honestly don't know what profession. I don't even think doctors make $400 in an hour. But again, it takes time, it takes practice, and to really implement these strategies, right? And again, it's really about just managing your risk. And again, and that's with a small account. For someone like me who might trade with anywhere from 25,000 to 50 to 100,000, that could be a lot of money. 25,000 times 10%. That's 2,500 in an hour, right? Now, again, a lot of people, their eyes open up when they hear about these numbers, like, oh my God, 2,500 in an hour. But something that you want to do, take note of is, in order to get to a position, where you're able to make that much money, you really need to develop your skill, right? You want to learn more about the RSI, learn more about the VWAP. Something I always encourage people to do is also paper trade, and which is simulated trading. Now, I'm not going to go into all that because, again, I want to make this video a little more concise, and we're just talking about what stocks to buy. So I'm just going to go over one example with another stock and then cut it there, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. You guys might be kind of like losing off, like, oh, people don't like watching videos to the end, right? So let's just pick any stock. Let's just click WWE, for example. And WWE, it had a lot of opportunity, because look how it traded for the day. It went up, it went down, up and down, up and down. And again, if you listen to what I said, you would be able to identify all the opportunities that this had today. For example, you could see that many times throughout the day, it kind of bounced on this purple VWAP, and again, like as a support, where it went down, it kind of bounced off of it, crossed the blue EMA line, and then went up to this red line, red VWAP line. Sorry, I don't want to confuse you guys. And kind of just did the same thing. So if you were someone that took advantage of all these like kind of like bounces, that could have been like some gains right there, some gains right here, some gains right here, etc. Right? Again, and then there was also opportunity down here where it kind of once it kind of started going above, it went below the yellow VWAP line, but then eventually it kind of crossed over the EMA line, showing signs of going up. It went up, and once it started going kind of going around over here, you could see, let me just kind of draw a little line. You could see that over here the previous supports became a resistance, right? Now, again, I do have another video on supports and resistances. So in order to become profitable, you just want to learn about a lot of these indicators. I learn more about supports and resistances, learn about RSIs, learn about VWAP, things like that. Put it into practice, and that's pretty much it. That's how that's how you find stocks and identify what to buy. Again, I'm a day trader, so I'm in and out. I already explained why I do that, what's the purpose. Now, if you guys have any questions and you know where to go, leave them down in the comment section down below. If you guys appreciated anything I said in this video, I know this might be a lengthy video, but I did put a lot of knowledge and content in there. Definitely leave a like button. Consider maybe hitting that subscribe button. And yeah, that's pretty much it. My name is Justin Fernio from Push and Profit, and I'm out. Peace.